My name is Clara, and I want to share my story with you. I was 24 when I married Michael. We had been together for 3 years before he asked me to be his wife. He was kind, thoughtful, and made me feel like I was the most important person in the world. He had a way of making everything seem perfect. Our wedding day was everything I had dreamed of. Beautiful, romantic, and filled with love. I felt like I was the luckiest woman alive. At first, everything was great. We moved into a cozy apartment, decorated it together, and settled into our new life as a married couple. I was happy, and he was happy. We talked about our future, our dreams, and everything we wanted to do together. He promised me that no matter what, we would always be there for each other. But as time passed, things began to change. It was slow at first, but I began to notice that Michael wasn't as attentive as he used to be. He would come home late from work, and when I asked about his day, he'd brush me off with a quick answer, saying he was tired. His warm smiles and the little gestures of love that once made me feel special seemed to disappear. I didn't want to admit it, but a part of me felt like something was wrong. I didn't know what it was, but I felt it deep down. I told myself I was being silly and that maybe he was just going through a busy phase at work. But then one evening, everything changed. It was a Saturday, and Michael had promised me we would spend the whole day together, but he canceled at the last minute, saying he had to meet a friend from work. I wasn't happy, but I tried to be understanding. As the day went on, I noticed that he was texting someone constantly. I didn't want to snoop, but my curiosity got the best of me, and I glanced at his phone when he left it on the kitchen counter. What I saw shattered my heart. He was texting a woman named Sarah. They were talking about meeting up that evening. The messages were flirtatious and full of inside jokes that I didn't understand. I couldn't believe it. My stomach twisted in knots, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. That night, when Michael came home, I didn't say anything. I couldn't find the words. I just felt numb. He was acting like everything was normal, but I couldn't ignore the feeling in my gut. I was scared that my marriage was falling apart. Scared that Michael, the man I loved, was no longer in love with me. Days went by, and I could see that Michael was becoming more and more distant. He was always on his phone, always busy with work, and always avoiding me. I started to confront him, but he would get defensive and tell me I was overreacting. But the doubt in my heart kept growing. One night, I decided to follow him. I told myself it was the only way to know the truth. I followed him to a cafe, and there I saw him with Sarah. They were laughing together, holding hands, and I felt like my world was collapsing. I wanted to run over to them, to scream at him, but I couldn't move. I just stood there, watching them, feeling like I was invisible. Michael hadn't even noticed I was there. It hurt so much. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and completely alone. When they left, I went home, and for hours, I sat in the dark, crying. I didn't know what to do. I loved him so much, but he didn't love me the same way anymore. The next morning, when he came home, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I confronted him. "Michael, I saw you with her." "I know everything," I said, my voice trembling. He looked at me for a moment, then sighed. "Clara, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen this way, but I have feelings for Sarah. I think I've fallen in love with her." His words felt like a slap to the face. I couldn't believe it. All this time, I had been so sure that we were happy. I had been so sure that we had a future together. But now, everything was falling apart. "How long?" I asked quietly. "A few months," he replied. "I never meant to hurt you. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't believe it. I had given him everything. I had trusted him completely. And now he was telling me that he was in love with someone else. The pain was unbearable. For days, I couldn't stop crying. I felt like my life had been stolen from me. I didn't know how to move on. But as time passed, I started to think, what if I had the right to feel loved again? What if I could find someone who would appreciate me? I had spent so much of my life trying to make Michael happy, but I had forgotten about myself. One day, I met a man named David. We met by chance at a coffee shop, and he struck up a conversation with me. At first, I was hesitant. I wasn't sure if I was ready to open my heart again. But David was kind, funny, and so easy to talk to. He didn't ask for anything. He just wanted to listen. For the first time in months, I felt like someone saw me again. As the weeks went by, I found myself looking forward to seeing him. David wasn't like Michael. He didn't promise me the world. He didn't tell me he loved me right away. But he showed me respect, care, and attention. He made me feel important. One night, after a long conversation with David, I realized something. I had been so focused on holding on to a love that was slipping away, I hadn't given myself the chance to find happiness elsewhere. I didn't have to settle for someone who didn't appreciate me. I didn't have to stay in a relationship that was breaking me down. I deserved better. So, I made the hardest decision of my life. I told Michael I was leaving. I told him that I couldn't stay in a marriage where there was no trust, no love, and no respect. He begged me to stay, but I knew deep down that I couldn't. I needed to put myself first. Leaving him wasn't easy. There were moments when I doubted myself. I missed the person I had once been with. But I had to remind myself that love shouldn't hurt. I deserved someone who truly wanted to be with me. As time went on, I learned to heal. I focused on myself, on building my career, and on being the best version of me. David and I grew closer. And though I was scared of love again, I learned to open my heart. I realized that it's never too late to find happiness, even after heartbreak. Michael never stopped trying to win me back, but I knew I had made the right choice. He had chosen someone else, and now it was my turn to choose myself. This story isn't just about a marriage falling apart. It's about finding the strength to move forward, to take control of your life, and to realize that sometimes you have to walk away from something that hurts to make room for something better. And as for Michael, I wish him well, but I no longer care if he's with Sarah. I've learned that love isn't about holding on tight. It's about letting go when it's no longer right for you. And now, I'm ready for a future where I'm loved for who I truly am.